we got the strategy, do it all night, do it all day, no wasting time. We got the crew, get ready for the ride. Got them moves, got them vibes, we got the strategy, do it all night, do it all day, no wasting time. We got the crew, get ready for the ride. Get ready for the ride. Come on. Listen, yeah, future, flexing, into the ground to the next thing. New brand flex, no resting. Ain't got no time for vexing. Energy, building, bases covered, no switching. No limitation, no ceiling. Make new space for the feeling. Who got them moves, got them vibes. We got the strategy, do it all night, do it all day, no wasting time. We got the crew, get ready for the ride. Got them moves, got them vibes. We got the strategy, do it all night, do it all day, no wasting time. We got the crew, get ready for the ride. Get ready for the ride. Get set for the vibe unfolding. See life like an action sequence. Put it down, let the beat start rolling. Upload to the mainframe. I'm on the satellite holding in. I see my people stepping it up now. Download that, we go with it. Who got them moves, got them vibes. We got the strategy, do it all night, do it all day, no wasting time. We got the crew, get ready for the ride. Who got them moves, got them vibes. We got the strategy, do it all night, do it all day, no wasting time. We got the crew, get ready for the ride. Who got them moves, got them vibes. We got the strategy, do it all night, do it all day, no wasting time. We got the crew, get ready for the ride. Got them moves, got them vibes. We got the strategy, do it all night, do it all day, no wasting time. We got the crew, get ready for the ride. Get ready for the ride. Get ready for the ride. Yo, cuz, where you living like? Big G's, big city life. Yo, cuz, where you living like? Big G's, big city life. Yo, cuz, where you living like? Big G's, big city life. Yo, cuz, where you living like? Big G's, big city life.
Hello, hello, hello. Buddy, hey. It's your old pal, Gray. It's me. I'm back. Hello. Today, me and my 5 friends, well, not my only 5 friends, but 5 of my friends, and I, will all be reading Snowbound Blood, a vast error story. We're going to be starting it because it's like a 30-hour visual novel, and we're all going to be voicing different characters out loud and going through it, and there's like a 30% chance we'll banter and like a 60% chance we're just gonna read it because we end up getting invested or whatever. Yeah. I don't really have much else to say. As you can probably tell, maybe, from the volume-ish, I've fixed my mic and probably the rest of the audio balancing since last time, except for the music volume, which I should probably make a bit louder. Anyway, let me open up the game and unmute on the Discord call.
Then fudging PRC going boom.
Howdy.
He's got a HPV.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Howdy.
we're on air.
We're on air. We got the game up.
Yep, you don't have the game up for us.
I know. Hold on. I'm getting there.
We're sitting in the dock at this time.
I know you folks wanted a smoother video mode.
Yo, all that animation that's gonna go on.
Yeah. You want that smooth transition when it dissolves between scenes.
Mm-hmm.
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 Mm-hmm. How's the music level?
I think the audio music level's fine.
Okay.
Hello, everyone here?
Hi.
Yeah.
Except for people who don't have lines like Gray and Smith.
Gray still has the job of
Clicking.
moving the thing along.
Yes. Yeah, Usman, you can take a siesta right now.
Please don't.
I got my chips,
I
my
need
salsa.
company.
Oh.
Usman, you're my emotional support.
I will not go to sleep then. That was
Of
my
course.
plan.
Uh-oh.
That should be fine. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
yeah?
I'm pretty sure they're not. I'm not gonna scroll
Cool.
down and find out if it's not fine.
We will find that out later.
Yeah, I'll check off stream.
Otherwise,
But
yeah, this is fine.
you can see I have no saves. I wiped the save file from when I last played it.
Because they may or may not have been spoilers on the title screen.
Yep, the title screen does update as you play through the game, and it might do it properly this time instead of when I played, where it was kind of broken.
I mean, yeah, considering it's almost finished.
That's
Do you
true.
think they're gonna put out the epilogue by the time we finish this? Probably not.
Probably not.
Oh, I love saying things to break TOS. Ugh.
Hey! Welcome back. Let's talk about
Wait.
something unrelated.
Who's gonna voice the goon?
The goo.
What goon?
What
Stop!
goon?
Stop laughing!
As a written goon,
Normal word.
I volunteer as tribute.
Okay.
You're gonna be the
Of
goon?
course
Okay.
you would. Of
Our
course.
honorary
Oh.
goon.
I want to be a fucking goon.
I'm too fucking bad, man. You got no other lines for the first like 6
Oh,
streams of this.
my
Usman, you're destined to
Now
do
I
this.
have a
You're so good at
line.
gooning.
No way.
You're Mr. Vast Error. You
I
don't
get
get
it,
to
I'm
be
the-
Mr. Snowbound Blood.
Goon master, but
That vast error, more like vast gooner.
I mean, they mentioned the word goon in this series a couple of times. And it was
Of course
before
they are.
anything happened.
What do you mean anything at you implying that they're... Never mind.
It's the implication, okay? The
community has
implication.
existed for longer than you have ever
Lived.
So
Alright.
Hold on.
I'm holding.
I just don't show it. Don't show it to the stream. But Ash just sent this in like her server, and I'm just
Don't
reeling.
show this to the stream?
You're making
Oh
me
my
worried that I'm gonna
gosh.
like tab over and it will show on stream.
Well,
It's a
no,
whole ass
I'm
video.
pretty
I
sure
can't
you
watch
can
that with audio.
I'm pretty sure you can. Wait.
Don't
wait.
play this.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if that will actually like just nuke the stream because Spy TF2 is based.
It's my whole desktop audio I'm capturing right now. I don't have like a
don't
splitter.
play that. Because
Okay.
you play that, they will know about Spy TF2 talking about what's in the briefcase.
What? No, that's spoilers for Meet the Spy.
The Spy spoiler.
Sorry, if you haven't watched the Meet the series from Valve, please do that now and pause the stream.
VOD watchers, go watch all of the Meet the Mercenaries videos on the TF2 official channel, then come back.
They're not all there. You have to go to Valve for some of them.
That's important lore. What's the expiration date?
Expiration Date is amazing. I'm so sad it didn't actually get a series from it.
VOD
Imagine
watchers,
that's your pilot and you're like, nah, bro, I don't want a series.
VOD watchers, go watch Expiration Date.
Please, it's very good. And if you don't, we'll maybe link it in the description of the stream that doesn't. Wait a second.
The YouTube upload, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's the first Snowbound Blood VOD. I'll remember. I'll remember to do it. Just
Totally.
Expiration Date, though. None of the others. You gotta find the Meet the Crew series yourself.
It'll probably get recommended on the side.
Yeah, but you don't know who any of the characters are, so you gotta watch that first.
You gotta watch the best. Yeah, for any of those who don't know who any of the mercenaries are from Team Fortress 2, please enlighten yourself, because there are Team Fortress 2 references in here, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. There's gonna be a payload map in Chapter 5. Anyway, Lyna, do you remember what voice you had to do for the
No.
main character?
I don't think I came up with anything like particularly satisfying.
If you
That's the problem.
Mute, you can,
You can
do
mute,
that.
or you can just kind of workshop it as you go. Either one works. I mean, this
Hold
is
on.
only the first VOD.
I'm holding
Is,
you.
is Blake or Lyna gonna do the narration?
Blake will.
Okay. That's gonna be a it's gonna be a lot of Snowbound Bud for Blake then.
Yeah, Blake is working double time here. Dude just loves Vast Error that much.
Okay.
It's good, okay?
It is pretty good.
Gray, I think you've already seen this image, but I'm posting it in here.
Excited for us to read all of the Silver Case on stream?
I don't know, I propose we do a Phoenix Wright next.
Phoenix
be
Wright
like a
is
nice
the
fun
best
thing.
option. Yeah.
That does actually sound fun.
Yeah. That's why I'm suggesting it. Dead silence! Dead silence! Hold on, break the silence!
Hold on,
We gotta talk about something.
Skip 20 seconds.
No, don't skip 20. That was not that long of silence.
No, I mean, from when they heard me say that, they're gonna skip 20 seconds and we're gonna be talking about something already, right?
Of course, like Cecily's design. Or that poor Saul in the background.
That's Carcat.
What the?
It's not Carcat.
Sorry, that's...
Barbat. Barbat Bantas.
What the hell is your Final Fantasy 14 character's name?
Alright,
I'm not getting. That's not my Final Fantasy 14 character.
So, like, I don't remember. I mean, I remember the first name, but the last name I can only remember as Lautrec, and that's a Dark Souls name.
Go for it, Lyna.
Okay. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm holding you.
No, you're not.
Cecily's holding Prospina.
Yep.
That's true.
Go
That is-
ahead. Take it.
I just opened something on my phone.
Perfect. Oh, fudge, I forgot. There's a lot of big language in here. You proffer the dueling rapier, your second best, to the ruffian. You took down his two mates easily enough, and now he's the last one standing, unarmed and afraid.
Hey, if you want to baton pass the narration over to me, just let me know.
This is the part of the ritual for you. He's not dying alone. Sorry, this is part of the ritual for you. He's not dying alone.
It's not a trick. You know that. I'm sure all your ilk has heard of me.
Okay.
There we go. You even know how to hold it. Sometimes I get asked why I do this.
He stands, eyes narrowed, as he touched the tips of your blades, proper stance and all. You wish more smugglers had a touch of class this soul did. You almost feel bad for what's about to happen. Then you remember the document detailing the deaths caused by this counterfeit medicine lab, start to finish, like it was photocopied straight into your head.
There are 3 reasons. Here's the first. It's only fair, face to face, blade to blade. An honest chance. You deserve that. Everyone deserves that. If you die with nobility, with courage. If you don't, you walk out of here the first man in 12 sweeps to win a duel with me. And that's something to fight for. Allez.
Whoa. Oh, hold on. I forgot. Usman, you're our designated choice maker. Absolutely none of our choices have any meaning except for the very last one in the game. You'll know which.
Oh my god. Usman, go ham.
Usman?
Usman, let's do this by popular vote, maybe.
No. Usman gets full power.
Is Usman here?
Usman was like, I have no lines, get me out of here.
He's
Even though
gonna
the...
But like, no. Usman's waiting for you to read the line.
Would you like a feint to the right, an appel, a simple thrust, or sitting here for...
No, that's not the line.
You
That's
didn't
not
read the line.
Oh, sorry. You start with the bout. You start the bout with a feint to the right, an appel, or a simple thrust.
I can't check the call. Is Usman muted?
Yeah.
Oh no! Our honorary choice maker.
Looks like we have to wait.
Well,
Perfect. Anyway, test
Well,
design.
I'm glad you joined us for Snowbound Blood.
thanks everybody. Snowbound Blood! Give it up for Lyna's beautiful performance as Cecily Opara.
Thank you so much, Lyna.
And my beautiful performance is white noise.
Now let's talk about why Wario is equivalent to Shadow the Hedgehog.
Okay, they're both greedy.
When is Shadow,
Shadow
ever talk
greedy?
about money?
No, they're both primarily concerned with themselves. That's about where the similarities end.
I no.
They can both wield a gun.
When did Wario wield a gun?
Cartoonish or otherwise, I'm sure he's picked up some kind of thing with like a handle, like a trigger.
Can they both ride motorcycles?
There's
Why would
one
Shadow
very
Hedgehog
ob-
ever need to ride a motorcycle?
I don't know, because it's cool.
What is it, Sky? There's one very obvious.
Never mind.
Wow.
I don't want to be stupid.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Wario actually wields a gun in the
Wario
Mario
is
Party
equivalent
series.
to Shadow the Hedgehog.
They're both the perfect
Alright.
life form.
No. Because they're both
Well, who
the
is,
dark form of the protagonist of the respective series.
Correct. That is what they have in common.
They also have a W in their name. And an A.
They're the inverse of each other.
Both have kind of spiky designs, Mario's mustache and Shadow's hair.
Silver and Waluigi is probably the biggest stretch of equivalency here because Silver is actually a figure for good and Waluigi just isn't.
Waluigi.
Waluigi's
runs
a
casino.
figure.
He doesn't help, ever. He's just kind of around sometimes.
But he has like a pinball.
He does have Waluigi pinball.
And that's cool.
I need to know why Wario and Waluigi even exist.
Waluigi's a party game character, and Wario has like his own series of games after being introduced in Super Mario Land 2.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's awesome?
Yeah,
And
but
it's also like an entirely different form of platformer.
Yeah.
it's like, were these characters manifested? Like, who looked at Mario and Luigi and said, well, what if we made two more?
Well, Waluigi was not there for a while.
Yeah.
Wario was just like evil Mario for that game, and then he got his own little funny spin-off in
Yeah.
Wario Land, and then that was actually like a really fun little spin-off. And then Waluigi was like literally like, okay, we have Wario. We need someone for Luigi. Let's just make Waluigi exist.
We need a new character for like Mario Strikers 1 or whatever.
I think it was Mario Power Tennis.
Mario what? Oh, tennis? That makes more sense.
Oh, wait, I think it was tennis. I think you're right.
The Donkey Kong and Vector equivalency is very real. That's true as fuck.
These are all pretty on point, except for Waluigi and
Yeah.
Silver.
But I mean, they didn't really have many other options. Like, there's no Silver-esque feature in the Mario franchise, save for like, I don't like fucking, I don't know, Kamek, I guess.
Yeah, but Kamek's still usually like a henchman.
Yeah, usually evil. Like,
I would say like Eggman and Silver were on the same side, which is like no.
yeah.
What about, like, Toad?
When does Toad like conflict? When is there ever a Mario game where Mario has to like fight a Toad because they don't know his motives?
Mario, you're going down!
I don't know who Silver is. Yeah, I just heard you say actually good person. I was like,
Yeah, I don't know anything about Silver either.
Silver is a character from the future that's trying to stop past events because those past events caused the horrible future. He is the Terminator from Terminator 2.
I see. And also Trunks.
Yeah, and
It's-
Trunks.
It's literally
And
just
actually,
Dragon
probably
Ball.
more Shrugs.
Yeah.
But instead of Trunks immediately bashing Frieza's head in, he tries to immediately bash Goku's head in.
I see.
The first head he sees, you know, at least one of them's gonna get the job done.
Yeah, and he's like, "It's no use. It's no use."
What game is
That
this?
boss fight was well designed.
This
This
is from
is Sonic
Sonic
Adventure
2006. This is Sonic
This
06.
is-
Oh,
So 6.
No wonder I don't know.
Sonic Adventure was like, yeah. So what? Shadow was first. That was when Shadow was
That was
introduced.
Shadow.
I
That was
played.
E102.
I played like half of Sonic Adventure 2.
Oh,
Yeah,
Of course, I
well,
played
just
all
the
of first
secret
one.
is that Shadow's not the ultimate life form.
no. The ultimate life form is actually E102 Gamma.
Oh, so true.
I don't know.
It's no use.
I don't know what Blaze the Cat's deal is. I don't remember.
Blaze the Cat is Silver's friend in the Apocalypse.
I
and
remember
also goes
that,
back in time
but, like-
and helps out. That's essentially it. As
mean-
if like there was a second. It's like Gohan also came back.
Well, like Silver's in
And
the
wasn't-
Sonic Advance games. She's like important in those. You're not Silver.
Blaze, you mean?
Blaze, yeah, Blaze.
She probably is. I don't care.
She has the same level of like importance and spunk.
What
in
if we
her
removed
design.
Blaze and Silver and then had Espio and Charmy B, and put Charmy B as the equivalent of Waluigi?
That would make more sense, honestly. Yeah.
Espio feels kind of weird for Daisy though.
I accidentally added a stream marker. I don't know what that did.
I love just chatting. What are we doing? We are genuinely just chatting.
Well, too bad the category is Snowbound Blood.
Oh fudge! Maybe we should talk about the equivalents. Who's the Mario in Snowbound Blood?
Good question. It's Cecily. Why could it be anyone else?
Yeah, how can you say that with such confidence?
Why would it be anyone else? Who else is a Mario?
I don't know.
Who else
Are you
thinking
so
Wahoos?
you're not willing to give it to any other person?
No. Necron doesn't deserve Mario.
No, he deserves
I
Oreo.
mean, you're probably right, but
Is someone else gonna pick an option? We could just like keep going. We don't have to sit here. This entire time.
I
we're
kinda like the
also waiting
matrix.
for Usman.
Yeah.
we need Usman to make the decision here.
Of course. I don't. Okay, we just gotta stall for time.
Exactly. More talking about Sonic.
Do you know what I like? Breaking Bad. That's not true. I haven't actually watched it.
Well, I like Breaking Bad, and I have watched it, so ha.
Oh, I
I've
get
watched
rolled.
most of Breaking Bad, but I need to finish it still.
What season are you on?
5.
You just finished 4?
Was I on? I can't remember actually. I would remember if I went to go watch it again, but I can't remember right now.
Yeah, it's just what happens.
Lana, how do you feel about the end of Breaking Bad?
Which part of that?
Like the entire last, like, 4 episodes.
I'm thinking.
Yep, and I'm thinking about this GIF.
Why'd you
Yeah,
say
I'm
snake
looking at
eating a
this Blake
fish?
too. I Blick. Blake, I'm looking at this GIF too. Oh my god.
For reference, chat and/or VOD watchers, this is a GIF of Naked Snake just fudging devouring a whole fish.
Can we argue about this? Can we tell
About
what's
what?
true or
We need
not?
to argue about something. This?
It felt like a really fitting conclusion for Walter, but Jesse got done dirty.
Yeah. I agree. Well, that's
I
what
don't
like,
know how physics works, so I can't answer this question.
It depends how fast the trolley's going.
yeah, exactly.
It doesn't depend how fast. No, This is an unanswerable question.
What do you mean it
Depends on how
doesn't?
the portals work.
Oh, the answer's B.
No, it's not.
What do you mean? No, it's not.
There is no answer to this question unless you know how portals work.
Well, that's true, but
Okay, what if the trolley's not moving and the tracks underneath the trolley are moving?
Okay, hold on. Fundamentally, there is only
still
one.
depends how portals work.
Hold on. We know there's no answer to this question because portals can't work on moving surfaces except for that one room in Portal 2.
There's 2 rooms actually, but
The 2
whatever.
rooms in Portal 2.
Also, what if the track is moving instead of the trolley? The trolley's staying stationary.
pretty sure the way the portals are programmed in the game, A would happen.
If the track was moving, then they would go flying out.
Yeah, what do you mean they
Is
go
the portal
flying out?
moving?
It depends how fast the track is moving.
Okay, sure, but that's not what the question is asking.
Yeah, what do you mean that's not what the question is asking? They either
if it's-
plop right out of the portal or they get fired out of it.
If it's
That all
in-game-
depends on how fast
It's
it goes
it's
through
not
the
about the
portal.
speed, it's about the nature of the portals.
If it's in-game physics, then it's the first one. It's A.
Yeah, but how do you know? How do you know how fast the trolley is moving?
This is not answerable.
The nature of the portals.
It's answerable depending how you assume the portal physics works.
Okay,
Oh, for reference, chat or VOD watchers, there's an orange portal on the front of a trolley in
Chat
the
has
trolley
probably all
problem.
seen this image. Let's be honest.
I haven't seen this image yet. This is the
I've
first
seen this
time I've
image like
seen
3
it.
times already.
yeah. Okay, so can we all agree that if the trolley is moving slowly, it would be A, and if the trolley is moving quickly, it would be B?
Oh, stop! You're
If the
It
trolley is
depends
moving
on
slowly,
how the
then
portal-
it
Gray
doesn't
is
touch it.
trolling.
We don't know if the trolley is moving or how fast, but if it were moving, and if it were moving slowly, it would be A, and if it were moving quickly, it would be B. Yeah?
All right, perfectly reasonable.
Can we agree on that?
Okay, wait, no.
You're trolling. Don't
Okay.
answer them.
If you got this question on a physics exam,
You sock your professor.
what would you do?
You sock.
Which answer do you pick?
I'd circle both, man.
Then you have to choose one.
Okay. I would get a C plus in physics at best. I would not be passing this class with flying
Sorry, the
colors.
correct answer is neither. There's not enough information. You have to write that.
Okay, Hunter x Hunter episode 2.
What do you mean?
A swag ass 2-question quiz over here.
Oh my god, you're right. Wait, is that an episode?
That's
2?
episode 2.
How do you know which episode that
Because
is?
my parents started watching Hunter x Hunter the other day. I was up there, I was eating dinner with them, and like after dinner I was like, I'm just gonna put something on. They're like, okay, sure. So I put on the first episode of Hunter x Hunter, and they were like, hey, this is pretty good, and I was like, well, just keep watching, and they watched 12 episodes. So I think they like
Damn.
it.
At that rate, they're gonna finish it before Mia finishes it. We're on episode like 102 or something.
That's a good, it's a good
It's
challenge.
been like it's been like how long has it been?
I don't know.
It's been like a month and a half.
Like, what are you sending?
That's a good gift. That's a good
It is a
gift.
good
That
game.
is a good one. I agree. I just want to know. This is so uncharacteristic of Blake to send that second to last one.
I misjudged you. You dip your balls in sulfuric acid like us after all.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea. What are you furiously typing away for?
Searching for the next gift.
Questing ever higher, I see.
Make gifts at soup.com.
I swear, is that the like Levin polka dance? What is that? I feel like I've seen that so many places.
There's a new human fall
Really,
flat level.
Really helping out the Snowbound blood category.
Hasn't there been a new human fall flat level for like 4 months?
Well, I don't fucking know. There was one released like today or something.
Do you want to play it?
I don't know. Do you want to?
I don't know.
I'm up for
Senator!
Should I just make a choice? This is unbearable.
Why is it unbearable? Do you want me to
Usman needs to
guess?
be here.
Usman's been here the
Line
whole
is
time.
Emotional support.
Usman's been here the whole time and has remained muted
Usman,
because it's a funny bit.
Usman hasn't read Snowbound Blood before. He has to be
Right.
here.
Okay, true.
Mm-hmm.
What would you guys pick? What's your round start option here?
Single thrust. I play Ori. I know how this goes.
Ah, the neutral player.
Yeah, 2
I
3
don't know
6
what an
A.
appel
2 3 6 A.
is. What is an appel?
Do you want to look it up? I don't remember.
It would be, if I remember correctly, it's like you like move the blade out of the way. Hold on.
Appel fencing.
No,
Glossary
I don't want
of fencing.
scratch. A
That's
tap or
thumbsuck.
stamp of the foot, formerly serving as a warning of one's intent to attack, but now used as a feint.
Yeah.
Oh, so like
A sharp stroke of the blade used for purpose of procuring an opening.
that one's got auto guard.
How's auto guard in fudging uni?
It says stamping the front foot to the ground produces sound to distract or startle the opponent.
Do you think it comes out faster than the thrust? I feel like it probably doesn't.
Fudging no, what the fudge? Ori's 2 3 6 A is incredibly fast.
This is an Aurier. This is Cecily.
Actually, I'm gonna die.
Do you think the feint to the right would work like a dandy step?
I'm the awesome pile bunker.
Imagining Cecily doing like dandy step pile bunker or something like that is incredible.
I don't remember this being. I don't think it's just Cecily doing this attack. I think it's the guy that is dueling Cecily. This is what he does.
This is your text color. This is Cecily's text color. Cecily is opening
Oh, okay.
with this. Surely it's Cecily, right?
I don't
Actually,
remember.
because like, for some, it's weird. I don't know why they did it like this, but it is from the perspective of the smuggler.
Are you sure?
I remember it specifically like this because I remember when I read this, Blake had to explain this to me because I got really confused.
Okay, we can look.
I don't
in
remember explaining this, so we'll take it.
I mean, we can look in the history to see who you refers to in the narration before this.
Yeah, I could also just go through Snowbound Blood. Never mind, I deleted it. No, I didn't.
Please,
Oh,
we
well,
need
we
to
can
make a
never
choice.
know.
We're hard. It's been like 20 minutes. We're hard locked on the first
What
choice of the entire game.
Where is Usman?
Regardless of like us needing to make a choice, Usman needs to be here anyway.
This is like
That's the thing.
the least important part of the VN right here.
So
Yeah,
Yeah, so?
but
Okay.
if we skip out on the least important part, maybe we'll skip out on the most important part, okay?
True.
So
That's
the domino
true.
effect.
You can go now.
Oh,
Oh
my
my
god,
God.
welcome back! Finally.
Usman, do you want to
Wait,
know
how
what's
long-
awesome? You
how
get
long
to
were you
make
waiting?
all the choices.
Probably right after you left.
Oh god. You waited for that long?
Yes!
We just started talking about other shit.
Oh no, that's my bad.
So did you hear what we designated you?
The chooser of
Yeah, the official choice maker. No choices matter except a very obvious one at the end of the game. So you're
Alright,
just
go
kind
for
of
an
picking
apple.
which one we see first. An apple? Absolutely.
yeah.
We did it. We're moving forward. Narrator!
Nope, it is Cecily. No, these are Cecily stuff.
Told you.
Sorry, I was going through Snowbound Blood by myself.
Oh,
to
okay.
go see whose perspective it was.
That is weird.
You start the bout, aiming to shock him with the noise of your stomp on approach. He flinches at it, but not enough for to be a real opening. Good composure, kid. You follow up with...
A simple thrust.
Oh, 5B. You follow up with a simple thrust. This one knows what he's doing. You can see it in his stance. He might have been just like you during the it's an EP, EP,
Epi.
EP,
Pay.
Epi.
EP,
I think it's a pay. Yeah.
EP.
It's a
Yeah,
pay.
pay.
Learning the
Okay.
EpiPen in some bright office, dreaming of holding a real regular's blade like Prospina, gleaming in your hand. Prosperina, whatever.
It's
If so,
Proserpina.
he strayed. You didn't. Your superior technique prevails, and he catches blade in a French. Prise de fer.
Christopher.
All the leverage
That
is
was okay.
all the leverage is yours. Oh, it was brown as a rust blood. You press your advantage and slide effortlessly close to the tip until you pierce his chest right beside his blood pusher, sliding your sharp point deeper to draw a torrent of rosy brown blood.
Poop mode activated.
Your other sword falls out of his hand, and an indelicate clatter he chokes out in pain. You catch him as he lings over, dying, and begin to speak into his ear, calm as always.
What voice did it do?
I don't know, just trying to do like an authoritative voice.
I can't do an authoritative voice, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll try my best.
Okie dokie.
Hold on.
I thought it was Prosperina too. Proserpina?
It's Proserpina.
What is that? Where does that? Why? Why is it like that?
Pro per peanut.
The second reason I'm doing this is the one I need you to hear. It's the important one. If there's anything out there for your soul after this, if you meet any kind of maker or see any shred of the dead, and you need to carry a message for me, tell them this is for Lyna Robiad. I will send them as many as they need to avenge her.
He's nodding, even as blood starts to trickle from the corner of his mouth. Good lad.
And if you see her, tell her I'm sorry. I can't join her just yet.
You wait for him to slump over, dead, and slide him off your blade, taking a picture with your visor, document another successful compliance initiative to your superiors. You pull out a kerchief out of what?
Body cam mentioned.
You pull a kerchief out of your coat pocket and wipe your blade. Fudging a body cam on Cecily? I just killed this guy!
Cecily turns on the body cam when she kills people.
You speak to no one as you sheath it and walk out of the room.
Snapping a screenshot. This one's for the cringe comp.
The third reason is that I enjoy it. I always have.
Wow. GG, shake my
You
hand.
enjoy all the killing, don't you? Don't deny it, brother. It's in your genes.
So that was the prologue.
Britain showed up for the vast error reading.
Perfect. The prologue done. We now know who Cecily is.
Congratulations.
Your name is Cecily Iopar. You are the chief regulator for the Reputon Corporation, more releasing known for its variety of slick rebrands. You've been pulled off your current caseload for Priority Aleph, which is a 1 and a binary eclipse level of problem, which is good. Petty crime gets rote after a while. You walk through the busy open office hubs, cubicles deemed too impersonal by some new age synergizer or another, and replaced sweeps ago. You're sure they'll be back in a few. That's how it always goes in these halls. You let the sympathy wash over you, played by a dozen of cackling, clacking keyboards, the idle sameness of phone conversations on little headsets, the shuffle of papers, and the whine of a copier. Home, sweet home. Your business isn't with any of these low-level bureaucrats, thank goodness. No, you take the long strides past all of them, cloaks swishing in dramatic contrast, their button-ups and slacks. You're on your way to your superior's office. This case starts, as all your best have, with consolation of the newly... puissant heir. Puissant? It's puissant.
Puissant. They're staying
You gotta pick
stuck.
both of them. His assistant gives you a curt nod and presses a button on her desk that slides open the door. Same colorful office as always, littered with idle fascinations to occupy him during long meetings or periods of thought. While nodding along to a rant he's receiving through the phone held to his ear, he gestures for you to come in and sit down. You've never forgotten a face, or anything at all. Also, Usman does have a line. Kind of.
Usman's
Oh yeah, that's
mentioned.
true.
A character Usman plays is mentioned indirectly, but has no lines.
Awesome.
Throughout the game, you can select Recall upon meeting characters to search your near-perfect memory for information. The memories may be useful for solving the case ahead.
Shall we?
Recall Sestro Enthal. It's not hard to remember this face. Everyone knows Sestro Enthal, the heir to the executive, and the next in line for control over the entire corporate machine. He's been gradually assuming influence over more of the company hierarchy as he prepares to come into power with his ancestors' old age. This means you're taking orders from someone half your age who wears sweater vests. You'd be upset about it, but you're a consummate professional. Yep. Yeah, I was right. A consummate professional, and he's sweet enough. He's got a real piece of work from Matesprite, though. Enter. Right now, he looks downright sour. Yeah, I was right. Once you recognize the sandpaper harsh, salty voice assaulting at his ear, you feel a twinge of sympathy. The Reptonian elite is rarely sensible, but few could match the talent for absolute nonsense Calder Curian has displayed over the sweeps. You watch your employer pinch the bridge of his nose with 2 fingers, jaw clenched as he listens to Curian go on and on about late shipments? Not the drivel he passes off a magazine, you wonder. Oh well, you aren't being paid to listen to the grievances of Mr. Enthal's flock of fledgling hyperloopers, so you don't. Sestro rolls his eyes theatrically at some high point and finally meets your gaze. He mouths something, looking pained. He can't not pitch it. He's still fizzy lifting drinks. He doesn't even drink it. Either way, you're certain you don't care. He makes a cutting gesture across his throat with his hand and points to the phone receiver for your benefit, making his voice perfectly pleasant and neutral for callers. He assures him the corporate will do everything in its ability to ensure the timely delivery of his shipment, and if he could only answer a few questions... You stand up, draw your pistol, aim it over the phone receiver offset your side towards the enormous windows made up in the office's outer wall. You watch Sestro cup his hand over his loose ear, and the tuned sounds of a gunshot and punctured glass ring painfully in your own. Immediately, the corporate security alarm blares to life. You watch Sestro mouth something, "We'll call you back, maybe," and hang up, immediately turning to his computer and turning the alarm back off before the system response can get too serious. A few defensive drones flies at the office as you put your gun away, but it's been a long time since you were first given license to use deadly force in corporate halls. They see nothing wrong with the office and dutifully fly away. Sestro regards you with what seems to like equal parts annoyance and gratitude for a moment, then presses a button on his computer and instructs to remind him to address Calder's concerns later. He pauses. Through email, he adds, then he turns to you.
Effective as ever, Miss Iapara. Not that I feel it was necessary to damage corporate assets like that.
Even suspected threat can often serve as one of the better excuses with which to placate the distractingly powerful. They can relate to the fear of it. There's no damage to speak of, anyway.
Sestro is so used to the show, he doesn't turn around, but you regard the broken hole in the window with keen, if distant, interest. The broken edges of the glass have already started to leak, oozing translucent drops which turn to silky threads of liquid crystal. Within moments, the substance will coat the hole between the inside and outside and freeze solid, as if no breach ever occurred.
I was speaking of your hearing faculties, Miss Iapara. Senses as keen as yours are hard to come by, and while I'm sure we could repair any damage done to either of us, time is at a premium at the moment. I need you on top form, so please do take care of yourself going forward.
Of course.
Are you and Miss Libetta...
You shoot him a glare. You're really in no mood to talk personal matters.
Understandable. I didn't mean to overstep. Consider my concern a thank you for freeing up my afternoon from grub sitting. On the subject of which, your assignment. I trust you've heard of the Byzantine Empire?
Sestro pauses as he expects a reply, but you've been here long enough to know better. Nobody hasn't heard of the Byzantines, one of the older civilizations known to Reputan's past. They were famed as a rowdy, macabre bunch in their golden age. In this age, though, they're lost. The skeletons of the society is all that's left of them. After he collects his thoughts, he continues.
Last night, we had a security breach in the northern wastes, near the site of some Byzantine ruins. A transport convoy was compromised. There were casualties. 2 guards, plus the convoy's driver. All 3 were found executed face down in the snow.
He slides pictures of bodies across the table to you. You whistle in awe at the sight.
Clean cuts. This is professional work. Oh, and the convoy wasn't operating on its regular schedule. Anyone who might have known about the order to reroute the convoy's transit could have set us up. I'll need a list of names, of course. And whatever was taken is clearly special. Does my assignment include its retrieval? And if so, do I get to know what it is?
It always pays to show your superiors you can predict them. The more aware they are of what you know, what you're doing, the better... What the fudge? Hold on. The more aware they are, you know... The more... Okay. The more aware they are, you know what they're... Okay.
Do you want me to take this?
What the fudge is this?
Do you want me to take this one sentence?
The more aware they are, you know what you're doing better than they do, the less they bother to get in your way.
I hate it.
Yes.
The more aware they are, you know what you're doing better than they do. The less they bother to get in your way. Sure.
They.
Correct. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sestro. Or thank you, White Noise, writing it like that.
Okay.
Sestro, for his part, seems reassured by your surety. Your surety. Surety. He looks at your uncertainty for a moment, as if he might say something. Then he sighs, gets up, turns away from you, and looks out towards the window.
How do you like a melody?
You resist the urge to roll your eyes, which I'm doing right now. The kid makes a spectacle of this window whenever he genuinely cares about something, and you're tempted to gently inform him it's a dumb excuse for a poker face every time. But you aren't paid to give advice, so instead you wait to listen. Eventually, he speaks.
Your powers of perception continue to shine, Miss Ibarra. It's wonderful to know I can rely on you at some time such... It's wonderful to know I can rely on you at times such as these.
Yeah, kid, you answer in your head. You wonder if you'll ever be able to get your briefings done without the pointless flattery.
You're right, of course. I'll need you to discover who from corporate leaked such crucial information to our assailants. And uncovering the identity of the thieves and bringing them to justice will also be among your duties. But your most important task by far is to return our lost cargo to us. While these ruins were originally Byzantine and remain designated as such on official records, we have strong reason to believe the location was appropriated by worshippers of the Vivifier. How do you pronounce that?
Vivifier.
Okay. The Vivifier.
That earns Chester your brow, raised in genuine interest. You've heard rumors about the Vivifier, and all the old legends, of course. But even as high up as the corporate ladder as you are, this is the first time you've heard the name spoken so seriously.
The item that was taken from us was a filter of what we believe to be her own blood. I trust I don't have to explain further why its recovery is so crucial.
Chester was doing that thing where he sort of strokes the glass, all contemplative angst, but even though you feel he's done this every time you see him, it doesn't feel tired and empty in this once. You think of what the stories say about the Vivifier's blood, that it can heal wounds or create untethered, everlasting life, maybe even save Reputan, if Trollkind understood its mysteries well enough. You can guess well enough, that's what Sestra is thinking at least. And some things never change.
I think the situation speaks for itself.
Good. Expect a message with your names and any other points of data we feel you may find useful shortly. I expect you to start working on this immediately. You understand?
Of course, Mr. Unthal.
Excellent. Your services are appreciated as ever, Miss Cecily. If that isn't too forward.
Your employer's voice catches on his breath. The hitch would have been imperceptible to most people, but if you were most people, you wouldn't be where you are. You already know what he's going to say, and you're already tired of it. But so much of being professional is holding your tongue while the other people are not.
I wish to impress on you that this assignment, this one more than any I've asked of you yet, is truly...
You look just past Setro, to the half-melted healing mess of glass by his hand. You wonder how much he really believes he can fix this broken world. Whether it's small vial, whether it's with a small vial of one more substance, or really anything else. You suppose the earnestness of his desire is noble, at least. But not all things that shatter heal as easily as glass does. If someone were to ask you of your opinion, you suppose you'd say you believe this world is shattered from the start. That the poison choking it out goes to its deepest center. Sometimes things are just broken, and they stay broken.
For good.
There's a beat of silence between you. He looks at you, and for a moment seems downright vulnerable in a way that almost threatens to move you. Maybe it's not the world that's broken. Maybe it's just your heart. Either way, not much about this world holds your interest. It even less seems worth saving. But you suppose if someone has a run on this planet, might as well be this kid, who really seems to want to fix it. I guess that's something.
I'm counting on you, Cecily. Thank you.
In any case, you're not paid to have opinions, existential or otherwise. Cecily's dead. Sestra looking over Cecily's corpse like, what the fudge happened?
She fucking keels over the desk. You just hear...
What?
The Half-Life.
Of course, Mr. Enthal.
Uh-oh. There we go.
For good.
You're paid to get results. An hour of prep later, and you have a briefcase full of files, including a deck of Troll Decks cards of suspects and potential allies you'll be dealing with on the case. The Troll Decks identification system provides a simple card-based interface for field agents and regulators who must interface with a large number of suspects while managing their caseload. As the name suggests, it was originally a physical filing system. Entire warehouses used to be dedicated to maintaining the records, but dwindling population size and the marvel of digitization now means that the whole thing is accessible at any time, in any location. Despite the convenience, you still find yourself resorting to real cards once in a while when you need to focus on a particularly troubling case. Something about holding a person's life in your hands strengthens your resolve. It's a little strange, but you take your own card with you wherever you go. It sits in your breast pocket just over your blood pusher. If someone wants to run you through, they'll have to do it twice over. That's a little joke you tell yourself. Nobody's managed it so far, and after 12 sweeps, the card has become sort of a good luck charm. You keep another card close to your chest, but for different reasons. A promise long overdue. You step through the streets you've memorized like a hymnal. Yep, since you first accommodated at Stronghold 21 over 10 sweeps ago. It's a brisk winter day. Scarf-adorned trolls don't meet your eyes as you brace against the wind and look at the trees, still green. They're fake, of course, like everything else inside these walls. In truth, you never felt at ease here. The slick branding of nightlife, the convenience drones and social media stars, booze and sugar for every well-off Lotus Eater while blood spills across the dying world outside. You step over a crushed soda cup that automates streets for a mist and swing your light over your motorbike. You adjust your helmet and then kick it into gear, letting the purr of the engine carry you out of town. You arrive at the site in the northern waste a few hours later. It's mid-afternoon, and though the weather was clear and bright all morning, it's still bitterly cold.
They're at a waste, says Wales.
When you hit the tundra, you enter into a fierce snowstorm. And the last half hour of the journey was spent battling against poor visibility and harsh wind. The blizzard settles down into a light snowfall by the time you reach the convoy, though. 3 guards met you there, 2 olive bloods and a bronze. They all look extremely bored and cold, and you can't blame them. Hopefully you can wrap it up here soon, and then go home and do the same. Wrap up, you mean. You remove your helmet and shake your hair loose, brushing a few snowflakes off your arms and shoulders. As the bronze blood guard jogs over to where you've parked, you take a moment to survey the scene. After taking note of some key points of interest, you turn to face the guard as she greets you. She seems to be the one in charge, or that she was until you got here. Once you exchange some formalities, flash your card, and so on, she walks you through what happened since the convoy was discovered. In short, she says, not a lot. Nobody's disturbed the scene of the bodies or anything else since the preliminary investigation late last night. Security only got wind of the event due to the vehicle's automated system, she says. Other than that, there is no indication of anything unusual taking place. What about before the security backup arrived, you ask? Maybe someone tampered with the scene in the meantime? She says it's possible, but they didn't see any evidence of that when they got here. What about the driver, you ask? She says about them. You said that there should be 3 guard bodies here, but you only count 2 guards. She says, oh right, the subcontractor got assigned to the job, took the body away this morning. You say that it's a pretty loose definition of not disturbing anything. She says, yeah, whatever. You're not surprised though, drivers are often equipped and outfitted with company gear and uniforms, and their hands are usually chipped with an activation code for the vehicles they're assigned to. It's only natural that they want to recover it as soon as possible. Still, you say you have to chase that up later, and it's paperwork you'd rather not get tied up in. The guard just shrugs, palms up, the universal language of chronically underpaid. Alright, you say, you get the picture. She says she guesses you've been wanting to start the investigation then. You say yeah, it's been several thousand words already. She walks off to reconvene with her 2 colleagues. Throughout the investigation, your main goal is to find key pieces of information. The investigation progress bar over on your overhead visor lets you keep track of this. Nobody knows how it works, if you're honest. Nobody knows how it works, if you're honest, but it certainly comes in handy. Not everything you find will get all happy little bar moving, but every time you score another insight increment, a little feeling happens in your blood pusher. That feeling is called progress. You decide to investigate either the surroundings, the cockpit, the tires, the cargo, or the bodies.
Oh, choice maker.
So, okay. Other bodies.
Okie dokie. Artichoke.
You make your way over to the 2 corpses lying prone. Looks like you got a rust blood and a gold blood here. A pair of them are laid out straight, arms by their sides, legs flat against the ground. They were probably on their knees first before they fell forwards. Now starting to struggle from where you're standing. The combination of rigor mortis and the temperature means that they're now stiff in a literal sense as well as metaphoric. Although now that you think about it, I guess the literal sense is where the expression originally comes from? Whatever, you're not a wordologist. Slipping on a pair of work gloves and making sure not to disturb the scene too much, you carefully roll the 2 of them over to get a closer look. The thing you notice immediately is the wounds. 2 clean clets, one across either neck. From that you surmise they were probably bled to death. The next thing you notice, almost as immediately, is the expression on their faces. Their eyes and mouths are wide open. They look like they were utterly terrified. The one on the left, the gold blood, was an adult to his mid and late teens by the look of it. You estimate maybe 15 sweeps at a pass. You don't recognize him. There's something about the younger rust blood on the right that strikes you as familiar. You take a look at the rust blood on the right, the gold blood on the left, or you go back.
On the right.
You decide to examine the troll you recognize a little more closely. You get a good look at their face, and close your eyes and search your memory. Recall, the refectory. As you concentrate, a recollection seems to coalesce out of the void, forming gradually like a bead of water before dropping and splashing across your consciousness all at once. You remember seeing them just once before. It was in one of your various eating halls inside the walls of Stronghold 21, about half a sweep ago. They were around 12 sleeps old at the time, judging by the fact that there was a certain bright optimism in their face that hadn't yet been stamped out. The horror of this world buys its time for some people, and how fortunate for them. The encounter wasn't even a proper meeting. They were just some stranger your eyes lingered on a moment longer than usual. You noticed them leaning against a pillar, handheld mobile device in their hand, and a distinctively sour expression on their face. The way they were drilling holes in the screen with their eyes gave the impression that they were waiting for someone to get in touch. A frustrating business colleague, maybe? All Mother knows you spend enough corporate hours waiting for the right people to buzz you, and just as much time hoping that they won't all the same. You turned to hand a loop or three over to the elder, Burgundy behind the counter, her horns gnarled and helical.
Yep.
Helical.
Yep.
You could remember the exact amount you cared to, but you're not focusing on it right now. After picking up the freshly boiled soda, carbonated but not glucamated, and the lateral wheat fiber stack, you turned back in their direction. While your back was turned, their face seemed to have morphed into a gleeful yet still gentle and reserved expression of pure delight. They were now standing upright, excitedly tapping away at their device in their hands. Their eyes had softened around the corners, and a faint blush danced on their cheeks. Oh, you thought. Of course. You open your eyes, almost regretting the exercise. Your inability to forget can be cruel things sometimes. Most of the time, in fact. You searched the young Rustblood's body and didn't find anything of note. Just some personal effects. A pack of chill drops, a worn photograph, their phone. Without thinking, you go to wake it up, and you feel a sharp rush of relief as it doesn't light up. The battery must have died overnight. You put it back in their pocket. The last thing you want to check is their ID tag tied to their ankle with a sense of dread. These things are rather morbid to look at, but they're an important means of sorting out the mess after the troll kicks it, or, as in this case, has it kicked for them. Corporate Employment Asset number 32200. Bystand Nocent. Designation, Logistical Security. Will Testament, undocumented. Bondmates, M. That lesson occurs painfully in your chest. They have a bonded matesprit out there, somewhere. Someone who just felt a twinge of pain, but doesn't know why yet. Someone whose life won't ever be the same again. Just one more poor soul will be filing their temp papers tomorrow, not really knowing how to manage it, if they'll manage it. Sure takes you back. You stay there for a while, kneeling beside Nocen's body in the snow, and you sigh and pull yourself back upright. You take a look at
The left.
You get a closer look at the Goldblood stranger. Besides the neck wound, doesn't appear to have sustained any other injuries. That strikes you as very odd. You suspect that they were threatened at a distance, since otherwise they wouldn't have knelt without kicking up a fuss. Certainly you expect to see some incidental bruising if there was a scuff-up. It would make sense if they were occupied in front, though. Perhaps someone came up from behind in the meantime, and yeah, you pin that explanation at the top of your mental list as most plausible for now. You gently search the guy's pockets. There's a couple of loops and spare change, a respite block keycard, the beginnings of a pretty substantial link collection, a handful of soda bottle caps, and nothing of any importance. Although, who are you to judge? Maybe the lint was his ancestors. From the fact that all this stuff was kept in his pocket, you deduce that he wasn't in the habit of using a fetch modus. Same goes for his companion, too. Perhaps they couldn't afford them. Not everyone can. You're about to call it quits when you glance at one of their hands. It appears they've been holding something. Well, you prise his fingers open and take a look at the ID tag around his wrist. Corporate Employment Asset 03220. Avant Neutral. Designation Logistical Security. Will and Testament undocumented. Bondmates none. Poor guy. At least he's not leaving anyone behind to suffer sweeps of withdrawal. You don't let that thought carry on. You don't. Finally, you manage to force the hand open. Nestled in the palm is a small ball-shaped device. The surface has several small holes in it. There's a flap on the back that looks like a wing case. You recognize it as a maintenance drone. These things are always carried on logistical transports, and they're used to check for and fix mechanical problems, since it's unfeasible to have a resident mechanic for every convoy. This one looks like it's been crushed. This guy, Neutral, do that? You try and rip a diagnostic from it, but it's probably been out cold for too long to show you any signs of life now. Perhaps this explains why the convoy was stopped in the first place, though. The vehicle was tampered with somehow, and the first thing the crew would do is try to identify a system's failure. What a nasty trap to walk into. You take a look at the surroundings, the cockpit, the tires, or the cargo.
Tires.
The tires.
You walk around the bodies in a wide circle and approach the vehicle to get a closer look at the tires. I call it a hunch. The fresh snow is gradually piling up around the transport. The gentle curves between the white and the wheel arches make it look like the ground is coyly grabbing at the tires, not wanting to let them go. There's something almost tender about which belies the very real danger. Getting stranded out here in the waste is not a situation anyone wants to be in. Another hour or so, and someone's gonna have to go get. Your feet plunge and a ways down into the frozen mass as you get close and begin to scrabble away with your hands, carving out the wheels out in order to get a better view. The first few you look at don't reveal much. The wheels are in a dual configuration, laid out in pairs along the length of the transport, so you take them 2 by 2. The voice of an old acquaintance pops up in your subconscious while you're doing this, mumbling innate facts about the vehicle's model, the wheel configurations, the tire manufacturing. My mother knows why she tells you this stuff. You have I think I know who that is too. You do have a knack for recalling useful information when it's needed, though. You just and just like that, you notice that all these tires have been retreaded at least once. For some of them, process was done very recently, in fact. Retreading wheels this size usually means that it's going to be expensive to place them all together. Going by the age of the vehicle, though, you'd say that it's more like a desperate attempt to keep it going as long as possible. This one's probably on its last legs. Last wheels? Last wheels. You reach the last pair of tires and repeat your routine, digging them out with your hands and then skimming around the inside of the guards and wheel arches with your fingers. This time, though, you find something. Your fingers meet a small oblong object, probably no larger than a pack of cards, stuck out of sight on the underside of one of the arches.
Oh, I misclicked. Hold on.
This is most definitely not supposed to be here. Planting your feet either side of the wheel and bracing yourself, you reach your other hand at the metal rim and pull down hard. It doesn't budge for a moment, but then... pop! And with that, the object comes loose very suddenly, and you stumble backwards a little ways. Your grip on it doesn't hold, and it falls to your grasp down to the snow, bouncing off the rubber. Righting yourself and dusting a little off the snow of your coat, and bend forward to take a look at the thing where it fell. It appears to be the remains of a small box. The casing is burned and charged, half melted and barely holding together. Some wires of it are poking out at odd angles, and you can make out something akin to an aerial at one end. It's almost destroyed beyond recognition, but you don't need to be an expert to know what this thing is. What it represents? Sabotage. You decide to investigate.
The cockpit.
You decide to check inside the driving compartment. The driver and the 2 guards are all stationed in the same chamber at the very front of the vehicle. A set of concertinaed steps lead up to the entryway. These get deployed automatically when the doors were opened, and stayed that way since the crew never returned. A fair bit of snow bled inside it overnight, so the floor and seats are flecked with white and slush. Besides the mess joltly formed by the inclement weather and the usual layer of trucker detritus, though, there doesn't appear to be any sign of disarray in the compartment. If there was a struggle at any point, it didn't happen here. That means the driver and the 2 guards probably got out of their own accord. You think you have a pretty good hunch why. There's an angry light humming in and out of the main info screen. An emergency overlay is activated, apparently, in response to the driver's extended absence. Since transport convoys play a huge role in the Reputon's socio-economic system, the risk of them getting in trouble is taken very seriously as a matter of survival. The truck driver's chip, while allowing them to activate this vehicle in the first place, also acts like a kind of pin in a grenade, but like if the grenade were designed for safety purposes. This is an unspeakably crappy analogy, but you're going with it anyway. Point being, if the driver is out of the compartment for more than a short period of stops, the onboard computer automatically registers an emergency and backup is called for. In a totally non-explosive manner. It occurs to you that the system which allowed the driver to get in and out, stretch their legs every once in a while, might have resulted in better job satisfaction. Or rather, it would occur to you that the notion of job satisfaction existed on your planet. You lean over the dashboard and tap a menu icon on the screen, and the warden light fades out one final time. Taking one last glance around, you see an open book with its pages turned down in the far passenger seat. Looks like it must have belonged to one of the 2 guys out front. Cocking your head on one side, you read the title. It's called...
Fun.
Lord my bong water and look at me now. The Turning Kaikai story. Sorry, the Turning Kaikai story. Oh, wow. Someone is a big fan of a certain internet daredevil, apparently. Doesn't look like the uncanny ability to survive pretty much anything rubbed off on their beloved reader, though. The book is really, well loved, we'll put it. Picking it up, you can see the spine is broken in several places from overuse, and lots of the pages have been folded at the corners. Some of them appear to be missing. Flipping to the front, you take a peek at the nameplate stuck inside the cover. This book is just dying to be devoured by an event. There's a little heart next to the penciled-in name. You put the book back. You feel like wiping your hands on something. You decide to investigate
The cargo.
You move around the very rear of the transport, looking for the entry port in the cargo hold. One of the two faceless olive blood guards sees what you're doing and comes over to point out the access terminal for you. She offers you a keycard saying it's not authorized to open this door herself. You take it and thank her. You get quiet about a personal access card in your jacket pocket, the one which, as a regulator, you have the right to carry. You don't need her help, but it's good to let the kids think they're part of something important. You find it hard to think these people as anything but wigglers. Sometimes. Besides, it's part of your job as a higher-up to not let people feel redundant, at least right up until the moment they are. That's a different story. You wave your borrowed card over the receiver and a loud, harsh buzzing noise signifies the lock is disengaging, together with an almighty clunk as the bolt retracts. You hand the card back to the guard and climb up into the transport. And inside the hold is lit up with a pale green light which blinks to life when you open the cargo door. One of the bulbs in the far end is struggling to come on, sputtering like a sick spark bug. The cargo itself is packed in boxes of varying shapes and sizes, all of which are arranged in a very intricate pattern, a series of shelves. They range from small cubes all the way to crates taller than you. The arrangement of the cargo is determined via an algorithm which picks the optimal way to store the eclectic mix of items to be delivered in any given trip. It's a clever system, but sometimes it leads to something very small being packed inside a box, which is 4 times larger than it needs to be. That is one of the disadvantages. The other main drawback is, unless you know the arrangement beforehand, it's very hard to know where any particular item will be. Fortunately, the thieves took care of that for you. That's also the unfortunate part, of course. There's a single empty slot in the shelf about halfway down the length of the transport, roughly the size of a briefcase. The filter must have been taken from here. There are probably hundreds of bands worth of valuable resources on this transport, together with provisions, trade goods, electronics. But the thieves didn't go for any of it, just the filter. The fact that the rest of the crates weren't disturbed at all tells you immediately that they knew exactly where to look. The schedule change wasn't the only thing your little snitch spilled the beans on then. The more you find out about the case, the less you like it. And yet, there's something that's beginning to thrill you, even now. There's nothing quite like an opponent who knows what they're doing. You duck back out of the hold, and the door shuts and locks automatically behind you. You decide to investigate.
Looks like you're done here. No, check the surroundings.
You decide to scout the surrounding area, just to be sure. It's highly likely the response team missed something when they arrived during the night. Starting at the ground between the transport and the bodies, you began to sweep for footprints. You establish pretty quickly that the only tracks in the vicinity belong to you, and by comparison with the guard's prints from earlier, your 3 companions. Otherwise, the snow which fell overnight is completely coated the ground in a pristine layer of white, sitting unbroken like a fondant on a Yule-passing confection. You don't remember the last time you've had one of those. Well, that's not true. You remember with perfect clarity, but like everything else. Just like everything else, but you'd rather not think about it, so you don't. What's important here is that it was a long time ago. And what's more important to that is there are no trace of the culprits to be seen. There's a little hillock a small ways from where the transport is stopped. In lieu of any better ideas, you decide to see a little elevation reveals anything. You trudge your way up the slight incline, boots crunching and squeaking against the ice and snow. From a higher vantage point, you can see the whole scene in one picture. The transport, the bodies, the security team, your bike. And beyond, the field of white patched with streaks of gray and brown and sickly green extends as far as you can see in all directions. There are no signs of anything up from up here, either. Well, on the way down, a harsh wind whips up for a moment, and gripping your long coat around your neck against the chill that brings. At least the cold isn't toxic. The northern wastes are forever being buffeted by a very worst of Reputan's recalcitrant climate has to offer. Almost nobody lives here. The region seems to exist as somewhere to be traveled across, rather than a real place in and of itself. And while some places can sometimes be enjoyable to pass through, the very opposite is true here. The way strike you as more of a cool joke than anything else. A deadly expanse separating two of the planet's most populous regions, its traversal is a perpetual nightmare, logistically and otherwise. You arrive back at the crime scene with no better idea of the situation than when you left. An absence of information can itself be an important detail, but there is no inside increments to be had at this time. You need to try something else. You decide to investigate.
Looks like you're done here.
By now, the light is starting to dim. You've checked everything you've wanted to, and it's about time you head back to the stronghold. The report isn't going to submit itself, you think bitterly. You've tried that one before. You thank the guards for their help and let them know that they can start clearing it up now. The Alabud from earlier is looking pretty flushed, presumably from the cold. Hopefully she gets someplace warm. You make your departure with a curt nod, and then walk back over to your bike. Some of the snow has begun to pile up in the seat. You brush it off and swing Light over before starting the engine up. Before gunning it out of here, you get one last look at the scene. Taking the bodies, the vehicle, the endless white, you try to and picture in your mind the last frantic moment, in the dead of the night, when these three people's lives were cut short. In a few hours, this place will be empty again. Nothing but some blood beneath the snow to mark what happened here. But you'll remember. As night continues to fall on the journey home, you find yourself running over the few scraps of information you were able to find. The absence of any fighting, the sabotage of the vehicle, the pinpoint accuracy of the robbery itself. Something doesn't quite make sense here. The execution was just a little too perfect, in both senses of the word. If it was just your average cultist job, you'd expect a little less finesse. Most of these fanatics haven't even heard of the word finesse, let alone enough to carry out a scheme of this flawless. Could have been an inside job? Doesn't seem particularly likely. And yet the intel that leaks had to come from somewhere. Someone. But what reason would corporates have to steal from their own convoy? Could it be a ruse to shake potential third parties off the trail? Assessor seems so righteous in his office, despite the theatrics. You know that boy since he was a wiggler, and sometimes, and something tells you he'd never sign off on something like this. But if not him, then maybe... Oh, this isn't getting you anywhere. This case is not getting started. This case is just getting started. It's no good saying threats for no reason. It's never been the best move. That's never the best move on the table. You need much more information. Beep. Beep. Beep.
Dinner's done.
Suddenly, an alert rings out from your visor, jolting you out of a train of thought. Someone is trying to contact you, and this strikes you as unusual for two different reasons.
I don't remember who this is. Oh, it is Usman.
Dude?
Oh, is it? Oh.
Sorry, Usman.
Firstly, the color information is withheld. Whoever it is has something to hide, almost offering themselves up as a suspect from the onset. Suspicious calls on the way back from crime scenes doesn't tend to be inquiries about your health. Or after your health. The second reason that you haven't had a personal call in ages. You pick up.
Hi, Usman.
Like an important character? Or
Yeah.
good
Yes.
You can tell from the typing this is like anime villain.
Oh, let's think of a voice.
Yeah.
You see, the voice I was going to do for this character, I was going to be like, "Oh, I'm so glad you were assigned to this case, Cicely."
Did I keep that up for a long time?
No.
I would say don't do it.
Gas.
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 Let's just get it out of our systems.
I have to.
Gas.
I mean, I'll do this joke later. I'll do this joke later.
I'm so glad you're assigned to this case.
Is that what you're going with?
I guess. I can't... I don't know who this guy is, so...
It's
You can do a Bane voice. You can be like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're assigned to this
just any
case."
kind of villain voice you want, as long as it kind of peters out at the end, or like is breathy.
Doesn't give me a lot to work with, so I think I'll just go with what Blake suggested.
Okay.
When your name flashed up on my interface, I knew this was all worth it. I've been following your work, you know. Too many trolls on this planet.
Hold on, I'm interrupting. Usman, draw out the last words a little bit more.
Alright. Too many trolls on this planet do I appreciate that are really skilled. Obsessed with idle celebrity. sucking down whatever swill your paymasters feed them.
Okay, you don't have to do that.
But I respect you. You deliver your idea of good face to face.
That was good.
You should be famous, Cecily. Everyone should know the trail of bodies you've left behind.
How did you get this contact?
Why'd you stop? Don't jump scare the
That's not the
chat.
same way.
Yeah, I saw Freddy appear in front of my face.
Let me reread that. Hold on.
Golden Freddy jump scare.
Golden Tiger jump scare.
You have like 5 seconds to react to Golden Tiger. It's fine.
How did you get this contact?
That's a tedious question. You can do better.
Fine. What can you tell me about the scene I just left behind?
You're trying to scope out how much I know. So just trying to find that balance of my power. A standard opening, safe, but you can't play for the draw here. There's simply too much on the line. Your focus on what happened and when won't bring you any closer to understanding. To triumph, you can't just take your orders and march.
You talked yourself in circles, and you call me tedious. Answer the question.
100 trucks cross the remote corners of this disgusting planet every day. 100 containers of valuables, raw materials, fodder for crafts, fruit of the labor of thousands of trolls. Each part contaminated by greed and filth. But only the water was taken.
Why? Do you know its properties?
I want to help you understand. I really do. You will by the end. I think you'll agree with me, too. You've been purging this planet of refuge for so long.
You've done nothing to convince me you're not part of it.
We're all part of it, lapdog. I'm gonna give you the tools to break your chain. Idolic Acres, plus 2.111, 2 days. But listen close.
The call clicks out, nothing but the sound of wind wisping past you and the hum of your motor left to accompany you as the sun fully disappears beyond the horizon and your headlamp shines into the distance.
I always do.
You make the rest of the journey back to the stronghold without additional excitement. As you approach the outer walls, you get a message from one of your superiors. Looks like they tried to call you while you were talking to whoever that was. 2 in 1 day! You think something was wrong. Oh wait. The message is just a room number and a meeting time. Efficient as always. A few minutes later and you're walking back in through the dimly lit foyer of the corporate headquarters. A short elevator ride finds you striding past mostly empty cubicles, soda coolers, and falsified office foliage. The trolls still linger here are late-night strivers, eager to prove themselves. Could they be eager to atone? To assuage their own guilt? You make a mental note of everyone around out of habit, but quickly cut the train of thought off before it goes anywhere. No point in being unnecessarily suspicious of people. This stage, I pronounced that T. On the far side of the floor, at the end of the hallway, a tall figure stands waiting. As she sees you coming, she beckons once, and then vanishes into one of the many rooms lining both sides of the corridor. You hurry onward, managing to catch the door before it closes, and spagittle your way in silently. Sure, whatever.
Swoosh.
The corporate building seems to have more conference rooms than they know what to do with. Certainly more than any normal company could use. Then again, normality is a concept that tends to get left behind when you're dealing with the end of the world. It's very dark in here, and there's barely any light to see by, apart from the faint glow from your overhead visor and the occasional flash of lightning outside. You consider finding a light switch, but then perhaps it would ruin the effect. The tall, shadowy figure in the room when you entered steps to a shaft of light, and you can make her out clearly for the first time. Recall Hemiphehectrix. Or Hecrix? Hecrix. There we go, I got it. Hemifee Heckrix may be the more of the no-nonsense corporate cutthroat than her knit-wearing loving matesprit, but she has the same underlying instinct for dramatic flair bordering on the comical. They were almost made for each other. You have to remind yourself that this is, in fact, very literally true. And between her skulking in the shadows and him looking forlornly at the windows every few moments, it's a wonder these kids get any work done. Now, the effective second-in-command of Corporate Machine is standing in front of you with an expectant look on her face. She's holding her signature clipboard, the weapon of choice for the rootless itinerarian. Get to it. She doesn't bother saying anything. She just clicks the end of her pen once, somehow managing to make it sound like a question. You both know that she's right here for your report on the burglary, so you get right to it. The burglary. Your eyes drift shut as you begin to recount the afternoon's finding. Something about the darkness makes it easier, like you're giving the information an emptiness to fill up. Your mouth moves in its own accord, recalling everything in discrete, itemized chunks, all while in a faint scratching of a pen on paper accompanies your low murmur. It's a kind of music the two of you make together sometimes, a routine that's familiar despite the business atmosphere. Eventually it dies down, your story comes to an end, and you open your eyes again. Hemifee has stopped writing. She looks down at her clipboard deep in thought, her brow slightly furrowed. After a few seconds of silence, though, she looks at you again and speaks for the first time.
Oh, Nick!
Nick better fucking be here.
Wake up.
Wake up!
Cecily, wake up, Cecily. Gas is filling the room.
Gas.
Cecily, gas is filling your motorcycle. Gas. I'm filling with gasoline. It's a repellent. I'm getting gas leak, Cecily.
Guys, if Nick doesn't return in 5 minutes, who wants to be the replacement Hemifee for this stream only? Okay, Nick's
You.
here.
Fudge!
Give me a second.
Guys, do you want to see a cool thing? Sestro at the start of his quotes has the infinity symbol, but Hemifee at the end of hers has the infinity symbol. Whoa!
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 It's like they were made for each other.
Which they literally were!
In your opinion, what sort of people are we dealing with here?
Someone blood by voice every single character.
In your opinion.
In your
what sort of
opinion.
people are we dealing with here?
In your opinion, what sort of people are we dealing with here?
Cecily.
Cecily.
My mic
tall
is muted.
Hemifee?
Wait,
sure
I don't
is.
even have noise suppression off. Oh my god, this is a disaster.
Your mic wasn't just muted, you were deafened.
That
I
asked
know,
for
because
it.
I was checking something. Hold on.
Alright, Nick, go ahead.
Hold on.
You smell that, Cecily?
You smell
Me either. Start farting. Cecily, there's a reason I closed the door.
Oh my god. In your opinion, what sort of people are we dealing with here?
The voice is proper, professional, poised.
Pee-pee.
I'm not sure. There are several reasonable possibilities, with varying degrees of mutual exclusivity. The only certainty is that, whoever they are, they have some kind of connection with corporate. The amount of information they must have had access to speaks to that. I can't say if it's anything as serious as a mound mammal within the organization, or just a matter of bad bookkeeping.
Her eyes narrow at that suggestion.
But either way, there's clearly some avenue through which these people were able to exploit internal information for their own ends. The heist was far too clean, too perfect. It was almost impressive.
Hemifee is frowning openly now, and it cuts your hypothesizing short with an upraised hand.
This robbery was far from a waterway to operation. Miss
Watertight?
Sci-Fi. Watertight, fuck. Watertight like my... And you, of all people, should understand why. There was one key detail which demonstrates it. The bodies at the scene. The murder of our employees.
That was a mess. That was uncalled for. An unforgivable waste of troll resources. Theft itself was so perfect that the deaths were clearly unnecessary. Anyone with that complete a picture of the situation should have managed to avoid bloodshed altogether. You made it sound as though you almost respected these people, but this isn't a game that you're playing.
No comment.
The criminals aren't an opponent to be challenged. They're a scourge to be cleansed. Their blood on the snow, just like the mess they left behind. That's 3 more empty jobs I have to fill somehow. That's more temp work that needs to be done. There's something else sucking us dry while we...
Of course.
Shut up. I tried. You don't know how hard I tried. You don't know how hard I tried. I tried so hard.
Oh.
While we try to fix this entire planet. Another vital asset plucked from our grasp as I work tirelessly, endlessly against the clock. Time is not on our side. Boom, 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 boom. This crime is a mockery pointed straight at corporate itself.
Though her voice has barely changed in volume this whole time. To you, it sounds like Hemifi has begun shouting by this point. Her words are ice cold and dripping with anger. Snowbound blood.
No way! That's like...
Credits roll! Credits roll! You don't know how to respond to
Alright
this,
guys, thanks for joining us.
And so you would like to not say anything altogether. Years of experience tell you that. In a situation like these, your best move is to not make one. You're in the Zugzwag.
What?
That's definitely how you pronounce that one. Hemifi breathes in and out pointedly for the first few moments, before seeming to collect herself once more as her face inches imperceptibly back to an expression of complete calm.
Sestro may take a more lax approach to deploying corporate assets, but I'm never one to let a good thing go to waste. Just remember, Miss Iopara, you are as much an investment as any of our other initiatives, and safeguarding investments is where I come in. This investigation may run darker and more foul than you realize. Don't trust anyone.
Oh, well, this is new. She seems cautious, almost like she's nervous about something. She gives you a very direct look with this last warning, and you can tell that she knows you're a little bit of fan mail. The fact that someone else is contacting you soon after leaving the crime scene is enough to make her suspicious, perhaps rightfully so. But all the same, it strikes you as little more than it strikes you more as little more. It strikes you as more than a little wigglerish.
Don't worry, Miss Hedrix. I'm not about to get into the habit of it now. But any potential pockets of useful uncertainty should be examined and exploited before being discarded. You, of all people, should be able to appreciate that. I didn't get so far in my career without being open to every possibility. I highly doubt that there will be any kind of confrontation. This person seems too content to hide in the shadows. And even if there is, just you remember. My winning streak has been going since before you and your betrothed were hatched. It's not going to end at the hands of some anonymous prankster.
End of conversation.
See to it that it doesn't. You're no use to us otherwise.
And with that, your superior clicks the end of her pen in a way that lets you know that this meeting is over, as quickly and as abruptly as it began. She glides over to the door and leaves without sparing you a second glance. You don't hang around either. By the time you're back on the corridor, she's already vanished. Your head is full. Of beans! Something isn't adding up here. And the call you got is the biggest variable. You need some space and time. You walk past the rows of cubicles, aware of anxious eyes on you. Sestro is obviously often nervous, fretting, obsessing about one thought or another. He crams so much history into his head, you think he might, you think he starts reliving it sometimes, seeing portents of a second renaissance around every corner. It's understandable, though. He's the mask, the public face, the direction everyone's facing while Hamafi does all the dirty work. And the problem with being the mask is you have to look back at them. But seeing Hamafi paranoid? Ooh, that's rare. Now you have time to think about it. It strikes you as, unsettling. You've watched the two of them go through a lot of moods over the sweeps, settling their roles and assuming authority. Hamafi took to it more comfortably than her mate Sprint, or at least appeared to. You wonder what she knows that you don't. What could lead her unusual show of concern, filtered as through a desire to protect the company? The open-ended possibilities start to close in on you. You get constriction around your chest from being surrounded by those you've been told not to trust. You're getting caught up in speculation. Before you know it, you're in the back of the elevator. Soft muzak burring of the mindless din of your ear. To the mindless din in your ears, you breathe a sigh of relief when the doors shut without anyone else coming in. You don't have idle conversation in you right now. A very long time ago, you learned a number of exercises to deal with overwhelming feelings from a good friend. Call it an old therapy takeaway. As the elevator takes you up, 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 you make a repetitive little motion with your hands, a ritual of calm. 4 fingers in your left hand tap the right palm twice. Then you switch, fingers in your right hand tapping the left palm. Tap, tap. Tap, tap. Tap, tap. Tap, tap. Helps you center yourself and focus as you exit the elevator on the top floor and make a single flight of stairs to the roof. And take a single flight of stairs to the roof. The cold air is a deliverance. You walk to the edge of the building and look out on Stronghold 21. The pastel neon lights suffice the streets. The bass of a faraway music of the Stronghold nightlife thumps distantly. Colorful advertisements flicker on LED screens. This week's Skyrim release. Sorry, you haven't seen that joke yet. A new brand of sugary fizz. The 101st season of Who Wants to Be a Hyperlooper. That show hasn't been the same since the young man lost it and then destroyed the original set before spiraling into full-blown cult leadership. That's a story for another time. It's easy to look inside these walls and see what the revelers in the street see. A society without scarcity, of productivity and prosperity. But every bright light casts a shadow. You think of the bodies face down the snow, bondmates getting an impersonal phone call that will break them, a deep breathing voice taunting you over a voice link. You think of the 1,000 reasons someone would turn against this world. You think of more why someone outside of it would steal, kill, break, just to tear it down. The breeze gives you a chill. Lines of probability start to firm up in your hand. This world is balanced on a precipice, and somewhere out there, a conspiracy has emerged to steal a piece of its history, when they push it over the edge. It's up to you. Time to make a plan. Trashly.
We did it, guys. Operation Snowbound Blood.
Finally, we're done. Hey,
We're
look,
done.
the case. And Cecily's card.
This is the
late
moment.
enough that we finished at a normal time.
It is.
Yeah! Which means we're probably
Yeah,
going to only
listen.
do 1 chapter each time.
Yeah, 1 chapter at each time is a good pace.
True.
Also, the moment that image of Cecily came up is the moment I posted "It is pointless."
Awesome. What do our new readers think so far?
Liking it.
Alright, that's good.
Doing
Yeah,
this.
it's
Actually, fucking dogging.
Pardon?
I mean,
Like
it's
how
nice
it's
having like
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
it's nice having like a more like linear story that's easy to follow
Yeah.
Yes.
for once.
Snowbound Blood is the reason I really, really like Vast Error, because I read this and I came back to Vast Error with like an appreciation.
Because Homestuck was way worse, but like Faster right now, I mean, it's nothing too complicated right now, but like it's still like you still have to think about what's going on.
Yeah.
With this, like you can sort of just enjoy it.
Yeah. I agree.
Which is, I think, how they're going to probably do the next visual novel.
Ages from
The
now.
next
4
visual novel?
years when it releases.
Yes, there's another visual novel coming out. And by coming out, I mean it's in the works
It's
of
announced.
concept. Because,
Alright, I think
yeah. They're doing a visual novel for the, for the Historia stuff. Not the Historia stuff. The the Thaumatrope stuff.
I see.
Except they said they were going to finish it before they release any of it, so they're not going to do the episodic release that Snowbound Blood had.
Yep.
So we're not going to see it for a very long time, which is fine.
There you have it. That's the next visual.
Hey, can you click the start button? Can we see the funny next people?
Oh yeah.
Next time on Snowbound Blood, it's gonna be Cecily talking about stuff for a while before the decision's made.
These two.
There we go. Yes, we're fighting Colton and Siraj Feltry.
We get literally just Blake.
They found me on the street and they wrote me. And I have a lot of characters that I kind of vibe with.
Yeah.
This is Blake's.
I love trucks.
We found it.
The other characters I'm voicing for this are pretty minor, right?
You're voicing maybe one or two others. Yeah.
You're voicing a kind of important character. A really.
The funniest interaction in the entire storyline that'll happen right at the end.
Do I talk to myself?
Yeah. During
Yeah, that's
the
awesome.
most
I need to
important
be able to
part
talk
of the
to
story.
myself. It's so perfect.
Yeah.
Ideal.
We're probably gonna hold on. Are we gonna? We might see that character before we see them in Snowbound Blood.
Who? Me?
The other character that Lyna's voicing.
Oh. Maybe.
Yeah, we might see that character.
Yeah, maybe. I like all the voices that everyone did here. Literally only Sky's voice for Sestro was
shit.
Was as I was expecting. Everyone else's voices was not what I was expecting. But
Was
they're
mine
all good.
okay?
I would say so.
I
yeah.
did some like trial runs and I couldn't find something satisfactory, but I had some sort of like vague ideas of what I wanted to do.
You know what?
Take it.
You know what, Gray?
What?
Can you play this video on stream?
Hold on.
No.
It's like
That's like.
I want to address Lyna's thing first.
the way I wanted to voice her, I couldn't. I just like couldn't
Mhm.
like do it justice. So
I
just
mean,
settle on something different.
if I had any vague pointers, it would just be like, try to go for lower or deeper if you can, and mostly more forceful.
I tried that. I couldn't get it to sound like normal.
Okay.
I would want to do something different from Sestro, but I don't think.
I think personally it's good.
You could try to bring it more in line with your normal voice, Lyna. Or just
Okay.
like your regular voice.
Maybe more punctuated, Lyna?
Yeah, like I'm trying to enunciate more and then like change my accent a little bit.
Nick, you need to get more punctuated with ellipses and nothing else.
Okay, I'll explain
And
this to me more.
I kind of like talk too fast normally, so for a character like that,
Yeah,
so I need to pace myself.
that's fair.
Especially.
Usman's voice was pretty good. I liked the way that you tapered out the words at the end.
Bro, I forgot how like loaded the first part of Snowbound Blood is for characters that I like.
I forgot how loaded it was with foreshadowing.
You didn't forget that.
Okay, you're
Okay,
right.
do you want to play the human fall flatline?
I don't know why. Sorry.
I just wanted to like express that.
Yeah, no, I know.
You saw through my bluff though. Yeah, after stream. Which I think we're about to end. Does anyone have any thoughts they want to add?
Dude, I forgot that I love characters in 3. I care about one of the characters a lot in 4. I care about one of the characters a lot in 5. 6 is whatever. I mean, 6 is fine. And 7, baby. Oh yes.
Okay. Does anyone have any final thoughts?
I like Cecily's coat design.
True.
The,
It's a
the,
good coat.
the red
I like it.
and then like the teal.
I like it.
She has such a good design in general.
I agree.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of Cecily's coat today on the way to work, and I was like, "Oh, it's good coat, good."
Awesome.
My brain turned,
Awesome. Yeah.
my brain turned off.
Are we doing Sunday?
Yeah.
I think so.
Everyone fine for Sunday?
I have to make sure I do homework before then, but yeah.
Okay.
Sunday rum day.
Cool. And that's going to be a vast error, which means that we're going to be doing Fridays Snowbound, Monday or Sundays.
Yeah, we're missing
Yeah, we know what you're saying.
we're missing a marketing opportunity to do Snowbound Sundays, but
Okay.
alas.
Oh well.
We do faux-bound fun days.
Pfeffery Fridays!
Yes, guys. Spider hags.
Yay!
The spider hag incident, yo.
Yahoo!
Are you ready for Pfeffery Friday?
Oh yeah.
Pfeffery, please. Why would we ever do Pfeffery Fridays when we could do, I don't know,
Alright, I'm deafening.
what? Don't do that.
Too late. Okay. Thank you for joining me for this stream. That was the first session of Snowbound Blood. As Blake implied, we're going to be doing, if we can, one session of Vast Error and then one session of Snowbound Blood, and we're going to alternate no matter what. We might, by virtue of missing a day because someone's busy, switch up which of the two is on which day. But for now, Snowbound Blood will be on Fridays and Vast Error will be on Sundays. So yeah. Thank you all for watching, and I'm gonna put on some music for a couple minutes, and then that'll be it. Bye-bye.